Hey everyone, thanks for coming to this session on focus. I'm Christina, most of you know me, and today we're going to learn about why focus is important and what we can do to stay focused during our games or matches or sessions. Okay, so basically we all know what distractions are. They can be anything from a bird flying by to your shoe being on too tight to this tiny dog that will not leave me alone. Okay? Things like this are distracting. And what we need to do is to be able to focus through the distraction. Okay? Because distractions equal mistakes. Simple as that. So, three things we're going to learn or focus on today are: one, what distracts you. Okay, this is going to be different for every person. So we need to figure out what it is that distracts us. Okay, and on that handout you got, there is a column at the bottom, and then later tonight you're going to fill that out and explain to me what distracts you. Okay. Two, we need to know what to do when we're distracted. Okay, and that's some things we're going to talk about later today. Three, we need to know that this mental skill, like all the other ones, requires practice. And we're going to have to practice this more than once in order to master it. Okay? Alright, so basically most people think of focus like a flashlight. Okay? It can be broad or narrow, and you can point it in whichever direction you want. Okay? We think of these terms as external and internal. Okay, so on that handout you have is a little compass. And on the top, I want you to write external. In the bottom box, I want you to write internal. On the left or the west side, I want you to write broad, and then I want you to write narrow on the other side. Okay, so now we have our compass of focus. Now, when it comes to having a broad external focus, the key word for that is assessment. Okay, this is when you're looking at a lot of things at once. Like a quarterback needs to have a very broad external focus in order to make the next play or call the next play. Okay? Now, when you're going to have a broad internal focus, this is when you're going to analyze what you're going to do when something else happens. So, like, if you're in the outfield and the ball gets hit, what are you going to do with it? What if it gets over there? What if it gets over here? You just got to know what to do. And that's the broad internal focus, is what are you going to do? Okay, and then we're going to have a narrow external focus. Okay, and this is when you perform. When you hit that pitch that's coming at you. When you throw the next pitch, you're just going to focus on the glove, on the target, on your release point. Okay, you're not focusing on everything at once, you're focusing on one thing. Okay, and then the last one is the narrow internal focus. Okay, the keywords for this are rehearsal and checkup. Okay, this is when you're going to mentally rehearse what you're going to do, how you're going to perform, and how your basic body state is, how your muscles feel, how you're breathing in, what hurts, what feels good. Okay. Now, on this handout, there's plenty of room for you guys to write out what your broad internal and external focuses are for your sport. If you're a pitcher, if you're an outfielder, if you're a forward guard, or you're a quarterback, they're going to be different. But I want you to try to think of situations within your sport that require these different types of focus. Okay? Now, what do we do when we're distracted? Okay? If it's an external distraction, it can be anything from your uniform being uncomfortable to your shoes being too tight. Okay? So if you find that your uniform is distracting to you, then practice with your uniform on. Okay? Game day uniforms can bring some anxiety that practice uniforms just don't. Okay? I mean, I'm not saying practice with your game day uniform the day before, but washing machines run like this for a week. Okay? And let's see, simulation training. Okay? Major League Football players practice speakers on so they can become used to the crowd of the opposing team, because you know they're going to be loud. Okay? And one more thing is imagery. I know most of you may or may not be familiar with imagery, but it is a powerful tool on focusing what you need to get done and how you're going to react when things happen. Okay? If you want to learn more about imagery, come see me and we'll talk about it. Alright, and then we're going to internal distractions. If you had a bad day, if you've gotten in a fight with somebody, if you're just not feeling good, okay, there's a few things we can do. Keywords. So for me, when I was an outfielder, my keyword was ball. I said ball, ball, ball until I knew where the ball was. I knew what I was going to do with it if it came to me. I knew what the next play was. Ball, ball, ball. Okay, it's going to be different for everyone. Just figure out the keywords that works for you. Okay, then there's methodical routine. Okay, if you're a free throw shooter, what's your routine to get in there? Don't focus on the outcome. Left foot, right foot, look at the hoop, bounce, bounce, shoot. Okay, focus on the performance, not the outcome. Okay, this will help you focus on what you need to do to get the job done. Okay, and lastly, is most athletes focus on mistakes that they make. Okay, this is a huge distraction. Okay, when you make a mistake, I want you to learn from it. Okay, and figure out what you need to do to make it right. Don't focus on what you didn't do. Focus on how to make it right. Okay? You missed a ground ball. Okay? You popped up. Okay? You caught many ground balls in your life. How did it feel when you did it right? And how do you need to change what you did to make it right? Okay? Don't focus on what you did wrong. Focus on how to make it right. And move on to the next play. Okay? Now, I know all these sound easy they sound easy when you say them out loud. Okay? They're not easy to master. What we need to do is practice. And lucky for us, mental practice can happen anywhere. In the car, on your way to practice. On the car on the way home. In the shower, before you go to bed. Okay? Focus needs as much practice as imagery on your footwork on the field. Okay? And that's really what we need to do if we want to get better at focus. Okay? If you have any questions, come see me. I want you guys to fill out your handouts, figure out what your internal distractions are, what your external distractions are, fill out the little compass, alright? And then come talk to me later about it, and yeah, we'll have a cool discussion. Thank you all for coming, and you have a great day.